Welcome to Physician Heal Thyself, the podcast, empowering you to take a whole person approach to your well-being, spirit, soul, and body. Join me, your host, Dr. Ana Lara, naturopathic doctor, entrepreneur, and a servant of Jesus Christ. We are not just a body, we are spirit and soul. It's time to integrate medicine and spirituality into our healing. Let's get started. Welcome back to Physician Heal Thyself, the podcast. I'm Dr. Lara, and today I have a very, very special guest. Casey Nichols is going to be joining me. He is the founder and owner of Valley Fitness Kickboxing here in Arizona. We're going to talk about today about the importance of exercise and how exercise is a form of medicine. And so please help me welcome Casey.
Hi, how you doing? Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I'm so excited to have you here. I know we've had a lot of conversations at the gym after our hard workout, and I've always told you how impactful going to your gym was for me personally. Yeah. I started going to the gym in like November 2020.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
During COVID.
Yeah, it's a long time.
And I wasn't even looking really to go kickboxing anywhere. I remember exactly the day. It was a Saturday evening. I was just laying at home. And I looked at a Facebook ad, and it was Valley Fitness Kickboxing. I inquired. The next Monday I was there, and in the middle of the class, I knew I'm going to be making this my gym.
That's awesome. I love that. That's
it
amazing.
was hard.
Yeah.
This is like the best trainer I've ever had.
Thank you very much.
He will kick your butt.
That is true. I will.
You will. And I like that. I appreciate that about you, because that's what makes a good trainer, right? You're going to push us.
Yeah. A lot of people say, they're like, when does this get easy? And I say, never.
Never.
I mean, you will get stronger, but it's not going to get easier. And I will make sure it never gets easier.
Amen
but
to
you
that.
don't want a gym where it's going to be easy.
Yeah.
It's not going to do the trick.
If it's easy, it's sleazy.
Yeah, I like that. That's good.
Yeah. So there was so many great things that I immediately saw from going and kickboxing, right? Because I was angry and frustrated because of COVID and all the different things that were going on that I didn't agree with, a lot of injustices that I didn't agree with. And I was carrying all this stress regardless of the herbs and the diet and my sleep, all the things that I was doing naturally that were great. I still was carrying this anger and frustration. Yeah. And when I go to kickboxing, I leave it on that bag. Yeah,
we have this saying that people leave tired, sweaty, hungry, but nobody leaves that gym stressed out. It's almost impossible to punch and kick for 45 minutes and walk out of the gym stressed out.
It is the most zenful thing.
It really is, right? There's something about being a human being and just punching and kicking. Like, you literally can't be stressed out after that.
I'd rather take it out in the bag
than
on a person.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself and what led you to start Valley Fitness.
Yeah. So I jokingly say I had a real job for about 15 years. I worked in corporate America, but all through growing up and all through college, I got into boxing when I was really young, and then I got into kickboxing in college, and then I got into nutrition and personal training when I was like 20, 21. And then I got a normal job, and I worked for an ad agency and lived in California and had a really good life, and it was a really successful corporate career, but I just didn't care about my job. I didn't care about what I did, and I wasn't really helping anybody. And I went through some personal things, and I decided, if I have any purpose in life, it's not going to be working behind some desk. I'm going to have to do something that actually helps other people. So I was like, well, what am I really good at? And the marriage of nutrition and kickboxing and really health, that's kind of where I think the cross is for me. It wound up being Valley Fitness Kickboxing. So I moved out here in 2019. My folks lived out here, and we opened the gym. We opened the gym on January 2nd, 2020, and we closed for COVID on March 13th, Friday the 13th. So we're only open for a couple months, but we weathered that storm. We got a bunch of people like you, and we've been open now for 4 years and 5 months. So it's been a really great journey. Yeah. And I love what I do. I tell people I work a lot, but I don't feel like I'm actually working, because you're working directly with people, and you're helping people feel better. You're helping people get that stress out. You're helping people lose weight. And it's just, I feel actually very blessed and very grateful to do what I do.
Wow. Amazing. And that's why I go to this gym.
Yeah.
I drive 27 miles one way.
You do not live close to our gym.
I do not live close. Yeah. So I am not about excuses at all. Yeah. I say, find the thing that you love to do, and it doesn't matter where it's at. Figure it out. How do you get there? And I've toyed with the idea you know, maybe 2 years into, like, maybe this is too far, because, you know, the devil will speak into your head.
True. That's true.
And I just could never get myself to try out a gym that was closer to me.
I think there's a lot of, so in the world of kickboxing, there's a lot of gyms that we called fighter gyms. Like people go to learn to fight. And we are not a fighter's gym. I have zero interest in training tough guys. We're not sending anyone to the UFC. That's not our bag. I have zero interest in doing that. And then there's a handful of gyms that are more fitness based, but some of them are too easy. And some of them are just kind of just too, I don't want to use a negative term, but they're
too
just
girly.
Too girly.
They're too girly.
They kind of are. They're not hard enough, or they're too soft. And we're kind of that direct marriage between being a really, really hard workout, but everyone is welcome. If you walk into our gym, you'll see it's every shape, size, creed, color. I mean, everybody is represented.
And that is what I love about the gym. To see the diversity of ages from kids. So moms will take her kids with us.
I love that.
And we have them punch a bag instead of
your daughter came. I mean, no, your younger daughter.
The youngest,
now, but your teenager came for a while too.
And she's getting ready to join me again in the summer when she's out. So I like to see the diversity of young children with their parents there, and then when I see someone who's in their 60s or 70s or older, that to me is very inspiring.
Really cool. It's really
my
cool.
respects to them, because fitness is so important in our body, for our body, our physical body, but for many other reasons. So we're going to move into what are those benefits? What are the benefits? Because we have a lot of in common. You know, you're passionate about what you do. I feel the same way. I feel like I don't work. I am serving someone every day, and I love what I do, and it makes it very easy.
Yeah, it really does.
It really does, you know. And I pray that people get to that point in their life that they find the thing that they're so passionate about, that it doesn't seem like work. It's like play. It's a service act. Right?
And it's always that cliche saying, I heard it growing up, find what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And I always thought that was so silly. And then it happened to me. And I'm like, oh, crap,
I remember
real.
in my 20s hearing the same thing. I was like, okay, maybe one day. And then here we are. Living the life in our 40s, right? So what are the benefits that you see? And we'll kind of have that conversation so our audience knows that it's not just about looking good, because you're a fit guy and people will see you and be like, well, it's easy for you to go work out. Right.
But so in my opinion, there's multiple buckets, if you will, of the benefits of exercise, or just say health, where if it's exercising, working out, and that could be going to a kickboxing gym, be going to a big box gym like an EOS or Mountainside or LA Fitness or something like that, or you go to a Pilates class, or you go to a cycling class, or whatever it is, getting off your butt and getting your heart rate up for 30, 45 minutes. The first is obviously physical. So your body is going to get stronger. You're going to build lean muscle. You're going to burn calories. You're going to burn calories. Hopefully, if you're working out correctly, burn calories from stored body fat, which is a totally different thing. And you're just going to feel better about yourself. So, and we get a lot of, so I would say our gym, the kickboxing gym, it's probably 70% female, which is kind of funny, but I have a lot of women that come up to me and say, I want to tone up, but I don't want to lose my femininity. I don't want to feel masculine. I definitely want to look masculine. And that to me is always kind of funny, because for a woman to change her form to look like a man or look like a female bodybuilder, she would have to lift heavy weights for years and years and years and take steroids, and it's kind of ridiculous. But building lean mass, building lean muscle, strengthening, toning is extremely important, not only so that your shape is better, so that you're just a more fit human being walking around the earth. It's going to be easier in your joints. It's going to be easier on your spine if you have lower back pain. But it also, so lean muscle burns more calories. So if you and I are the same weight, let's say we both weigh 100 pounds and I have more muscle than you do, and we're sitting here watching a movie, eating popcorn, I'm going to burn more calories than you do just by doing the exact same thing, because I have a little more lean body mass than you do. I have a little more lean muscle than you do. So if you put on a half pound or a pound of muscle, you're going to burn more calories. So it's going to if you want to burn calories, put on a little more muscle.
You heard that, guys?
Yeah. If you're a woman, please try and build a little bit of lean mass. Plus, you're going to feel stronger.
Muscle's not a bad thing. It's a great thing.
It is.
And there's a ton of research and statistics out there about the loss of muscle mass with every decade of life. And it's ridiculous. Like when you get to your 60s, 70s, and older, all you need is just one injury that will set you back. And you will lose muscle mass just rapidly.
You're going to go downhill.
Yeah. And when you lose muscle mass, I mean, you're losing your vitality, your energy.
Your youth.
your youth. It's just, there goes
Scary.
along with it. Yeah. So great benefits.
As we get older, I'm in my 40s. You start to worry about using your youth and feeling older and kind of going over that hill, so to speak. And I think that's one of the things that starts it.
Absolutely. I tell my patients all the time that exercise is your anti-aging. There's so many benefits at the cellular level that you're constantly moving the body. The body was created to move.
Yeah.
When God created the body, designed it, he gave us a nervous system, and that nervous system is giving information to our muscles, right, voluntarily to move, and those muscles are pulling bones to create that movement. So our body was not designed to sit all day.
No.
They say that sitting is a new smoking. It's very toxic.
Really? I haven't heard that, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. If I sit for a long period of time, it's like death is upon me.
Yeah.
It is.
It's really bad. And I think you're right. The fact that most people sit in their car, most people sit at their desk hunched over, like you can literally see human beings just rolling forward.
And you're seeing it in younger people.
Which is worse. And now the phone, and it's just like, So in my opinion, the human body is one of the most amazing, beautiful thing that's ever literally walked the face of the earth. And it's amazing because of its adaptability.
Yes.
Whatever stress you put on your body, it will respond to it. It's only trying to survive in the environment that it's in. So if you put it under a certain amount of stress for a long period of time, it's going to adapt to it. If you change the stress, it's going to adapt to that. So if you're sitting hunched over every day or sitting in your car, stressed out, screaming at your boss or your kids or whatever, you're going to build tension in your upper back and your traps and your shoulders and things like that. But if you release it and you exercise and you work out, then your body's going to adapt to that. So I don't know. The body to me is just an amazing, amazing machine thing, whatever you want to call
creation.
it.
I love that you said that the body is always trying to survive in the environment that it's in.
Mm-hmm.
That's like poetic.
Yeah.
If you really think about it, that's life.
That's exactly what it is. The body, your human form is trying to survive. And granted, there's a soul and an emotional component to it as well.
Absolutely, which we'll get later too.
But physically, your body's just trying to survive.
Yeah.
It doesn't know any different.
It doesn't know any different. And I always tell people that the body will find a way to adapt to whatever it is you're doing. Mm-hmm. So I get a lot of people that say, well, I'm not hungry and I don't eat all day, so I don't eat.
Because you don't eat.
And I say, well, you're not hungry because you don't eat. And your body doesn't have the physical demand for that. Go start working out at the gym and you're going to see that you're hungry. I remember you, because he does great nutritional plans, and I love that you incorporate the two, right? At the gym. You had put me through like this rigorous, workout. Mm-hmm. And that night I was so hungry. Mm-hmm. I was like eating chicken and all the protein I could. Mm-hmm.
Your body's
I remember I told him, man, I was starving. He's like, that's good. I'm like, that's good.
That's a good thing. Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I felt my body was so hot because my metabolism was just like burning through that.
Yeah.
So if I want to eat 60 grams of protein and I'm working hard at the gym, eventually it's not going to help.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you listen to your body, it'll tell you what it needs. And flip that. So a lot of people will say the same thing. They say, I'm not hungry in the morning. And I say, well, you don't eat enough. They say, I'm not sleeping at night. I say, well, you're not moving enough. Your body is flipped. It's upside down. It's underwater. It doesn't know what it's supposed to be doing. So if you're able to turn that, you can get your body to respond to what you want to do. I always try and think of it like either your body's in control of you or you're in control of your body. I want to be in control of the machine, not the machine in control of me.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Amen to that. I love that you're integrating all these things, because the 4 pillars of health that I've mentioned in episode 2 is we talk about the 4 pillars, which is nutrition, exercise, sleep, and stress management. Yep. Like that's the foundation. Yeah. If you don't get good food, if you're not moving your body, you're not sleeping well, and you're not managing the stress part, all of these 4 start to cross over into each other.
Yeah.
So if you're not moving your body, you're not going to be able to sleep.
Yeah.
And if you're not eating well, and they all start to affect the one of the
It's all one ecosystem. They all play with each other. They all might be separate, but they all play off of each other, and you need one for the other and one for the other. I've had numerous clients. I literally had a client this morning. She's working out. She's eating well. She's getting rest, but she's so stressed out that she can't lose weight, and her weight is holding on to it. And I'm like, you have to like meditate or do yoga or something, and it'll start coming off. She's doing everything right. She's so frustrated, but she's getting more tense and more stressed because she's frustrated. I'm like, you have to relax. It'll happen. So that stress factor is extremely important.
Extremely important. I tell my patients that if we do not help regulate the stress response for them, that it's the equivalent of eating a donut.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's very true.
Because of the high cortisol, high adrenaline that you're constantly pumping out.
Yeah.
That creates an inflammatory process, and it affects every other hormone and process in your body, because the body is saying we're fighting something or we're running away from something, and you're not. You're just sitting. You're laying in your bed.
Yeah, but you're so tense and so stressed out. Yeah,
and so that's why physical activity will help reduce obviously nutrition too, because that's the foundation, right, of all the makeup of the body.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing stuff. What are some of the other benefits in your professional, personal opinion?
One of the things that I love the most is I get to see most of my members on day 1, on day 30, on day 90, on day 180, on day 1025, whatever it is. And I get to see them when they come in and they're stressed out, they're unsure of themselves. We get people that have never kickboxed before. We get people that never walked into a gym before. Yeah. And you can just feel the level of unsurety, or they're stressed, or there's a lack of self-confidence or strength, or whatever you want to call it. And over time that chips away, and they become kind of this new version of themselves. They get not only stronger physically, but they get stronger emotionally. They get more confident, they get more sure of themselves. This personality develops out of them. They stand different, they talk different. And that to me is like the most beautiful thing to see, is helping someone kind of break out of that insecure shell and into their stronger version of themselves. I love that.
There's truly a transformation.
It really is. It really is.
And this is, this podcast is designed to address the spirit, the soul, and the body. And I think that oftentimes people forget about the body. They can be very spiritual and they forget about this physical component and all the work that it took to build and design this body and to keep it functioning. Yeah. You said something earlier that I'm recalling right now, and it was that people don't listen to their body.
Nope.
They ignore their bodies. They ignore all the signs and the symptoms that the body's saying, hey, give me attention, and when you're physically moving your body, there's this mind-body connection that you're making. Yeah. And I agree. I think that the physical activity in our lives, like fitness, right, it really does transform us on all levels. Yeah,
and I think physical activity, whether it's kickboxing or riding a bike or whatever, I'm going to use kickboxing, number one, because I'm biased towards it. But number two, you're using all 4 limbs, and we're calling out combinations. So there's a hand-eye coordination. Like, you are literally connected to yourself. You can't. Absolutely. And one of the things that people say they love about our gym is that because it's fast-paced, you're changing every 30 seconds. We're changing a different combo. You're jumping. You're doing push-ups. Because you're changing, you can't think about anything else. You have to be right here.
In the moment.
You have to be in the moment, thinking about what you're doing, concentrating on this, and then maybe the next. And it literally connects your mind and your body at the same time. And it's meditative in a way.
It's medicine. I want to share with my audience, in 2021, I was in an accident. I was rear-ended. I thought I was okay. I walked away. I was feeling fine. Went and got adjusted a couple times, here and there. But almost 3 months after that accident, I had a concussion. I went to a neurologist, and the neurologist was like, "Oh, you have a concussion. You have PTSD." I'm like, "No, I don't." He said, "Yeah, you do." And so he made his recommendations, and of course, he's saying, "Slow down. You have to not work out. You have to, slow your lifestyle." And I'm like, absolutely not. Like, I have a business to run. I have a family. I'm not going to slow down. I still continued kickboxing after that accident, but I was just doing it different, listening to my body, what I could do. But one of the things that aside from the therapies and everything else that I did, what I consistently noticed was how I felt after I did kickboxing. So I know you indicate do this punch and that punch, and you have to be paying attention. And I could tell that I was struggling in remembering that short memory recall. I had a hard time. Like, did he say this or that? Yeah. But I still kept doing it. And I noticed every week that went by, I got better. And so I did research, and actually I found that it's highly recommended to do boxing, not to go fight someone, right? And get another concussion. Right. But the whole the body coordination, and also using both hemispheres of the brain, because you're using cross-rotation movements. And I thought, this is great for concussions or people with neurological conditions. You just have to listen to your body and follow the pace that you can do.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of healing in that. Kickboxing helped me
Very
heal
true.
through that
That's
concussion.
awesome. I love that
Is
story.
that amazing?
Yeah, that is cool.
So I tell now, interestingly, I get people with concussions and I tell them, get moving, get moving, do cross rotation things, even if it's walking. Obviously be careful if you have stability issues, but movement is very, very important.
Along those same lines, it's actually been proven, it's been shown in studies, I should be careful what I say, that boxing and kickboxing can help people with Parkinson's. Yes. And some woman looked that up. She contacted me and she said, she's in her 40s and her husband's in his late 60s. She said, hey, my husband has early Parkinson's. Can I bring him in? And she brought him in, and he's been coming for about 3 or 4 months now. He comes Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. and he's doing really, really good. And she said that it's not going to cure Parkinson's, but it helps. It helps. It's a little bit of a crutch, and it just helps them. It either prolongs it, and I'm not a doctor, so I'm not going to say anything along the lines, but she said it helps him. So that to me is like, man, if you can do something to help somebody in that position, that's amazing.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it makes sense because you're challenging the brain to do something that it's not used to doing before.
I have a story that I think you'll love. So last summer, I had a strange health scare. My liver shut down for some strange reason. I promise I'm not an alcoholic. So my liver shut down, really random. I had jaundice. It was bad. My eyes were as yellow as the sun, and I had to go to the hospital. I was in the hospital for a week. So they were pumping me full of drugs, and we never fully figured out what it was. The doctor said he thinks it was energy drinks. But anyway, so I get out of the hospital, and when I'm being discharged, I asked the doctor, the head of the whatever that department of your body is at the hospital, he's discharging me and he's saying, do this, take this pill at this time, take this pill at this time. And I said, what should I be eating? And he goes, oh, it doesn't matter. And I was like, I just had an internal organ shut down and I'm leaving the hospital. And the medical advice is it doesn't matter what you eat. And I was like, that is insane that they just let me walk out. And on this laundry list of things I had to do, there was nothing from a nutrition standpoint. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. That blew me away. And I was like, I'm
glad you shared that, because in our last episode where I talked about nutrition, we have a segment at the end of the show that we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of our current medical system. And I talked about that very particular thing that doctors will say, you can eat anything. There's no restriction. Doesn't matter. It's ludicrous.
It doesn't matter what you put in your body for your internal organs.
Ludicrous, absolutely. I always teach my patients, just because people have a medical degree doesn't mean they know it all. So you still have the right to question and challenge things. And do research yourself. That actually respectfully, right?
Yeah, that actually scared me to know that that's the medical advice people are getting.
Like, this is the person I'm putting my trust with my physical
body.
Doesn't
eat whatever you want.
Yeah, I get that a lot with oncology patients. Where they're just told, you can eat whatever. I'm like, no, you have stomach cancer.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's ludicrous, right?
Western medicine.
Wow, yeah. Well, I'm glad you got that resolved.
Yeah, me too. I'm alive.
What are some other things? I mean, there's so many benefits. I want to run kind of like a list of them. Yeah. So energy, it'll increase your energy, improves your mood. So it helps with depression, anxiety, any psychological stress. It helps your brain health, so cognitive function. That's a big one. I get a lot of people who want to improve their cognitive function. Like anti-aging is going into the cellular level. And I tell people, then you got to move your body. You got to challenge the body. Improves your sleep, obviously, healthy weight management, bone health. So I tell, what I noticed when I started kickboxing? What? My knuckles started to get thicker. And my shins.
Your shins get.
My shins. I remember when I first started kickboxing, I'm like, am I kicking wrong? Because it hurts like I'm going to break a bone. He's like, no, you're doing it right.
Yeah, you're doing it right.
I was like, wow.
Your shin just needs to callus over.
It doesn't hurt at all.
Your body is adapting to the environment you're putting it in. Yep, it gets stronger.
We crucify it.
Yeah, there you go. That's funny.
Crucify it.
That's funny. We use that term during the So one thing on the depression, that's such a huge issue. A lot of people suffer from depression. It could be a whole laundry list of reasons why. I have myself. I've seen firsthand, and it's not going to cure depression, but people come in that are just, and I've had a lot of parents bring their kids in, and I've had a lot of just people come in, and you can just feel it on them, or they tell you, I can't get out of my house. COVID was a huge problem.
Yes.
And when you have somewhere to be 2 or 3 times a week, and you have a set time from 4 to 4:45 on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever it is, you have to be there, and you have this little challenge in front of you, and you have to fight through it. and you do that consistently, repeatedly, day after day, week after week, you're going to feel better about yourself when you achieve little goals. And then now you can do 20 push-ups, and then you can do 30 squats or whatever it is. You start to feel better about yourself. You start to build a little self-esteem. And that is so amazing for not only you physically, but for you, how you feel about yourself, your identity. And that helps, I think, so big with people with depression.
Absolutely.
Little goals.
Absolutely. I think that COVID did open up, a lot of
one of the worst
issues
things for people.
We allowed ourselves to mentally, that fear creep in. And so, I am the same way. Like, if I don't move enough, I will feel depressed.
Yeah.
It's not anything else. It's a chemical thing for me. So I need to hike or go to the gym or walk.
Get out, move, sweat, get your heart rate up. Yeah,
and within 5 or 10 minutes of doing it, boom, I'm like uplifted.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the things that, as you work with a lot of people with fitness, what are the things that you see people do that makes them successful in their fitness journey?
So I say this probably 2 or 3 times a day. Our body loves routine. Again, going back to the idea that your body will adapt to whatever pressure you put it under, whatever stress you put it under. If that stress is consistent, your body knows what to adapt to. If the stress is random, it doesn't know what to adapt to. So if you're on a constant schedule and you're working out 3 times a week from 4 to 4:45 or whatever it is, your body knows how to adapt to that. And then you put a healthy meal plan on top of it and you eat clean 6 days a week. So now you're working out 3 days a week and you're eating clean 6 days a week. Your body knows what to respond to. And you'll see success very quickly. And granted, that will depend on your genetics and a bunch of different factors, but you will see success. Your body will respond. But if you only work out on Mondays and you only eat clean on Tuesdays and whatever, or you worked out really hard for 1 week and then you took a week off, and your body doesn't know what to adapt to. It's all over the place. So you have to keep that stress consistent. You have to keep it constant. So building a routine, your body loves a routine. If you can figure out whatever your workout schedule is, whatever your meal plan schedule that works for you, just do it and don't break it. You have to raise that priority up on your scale. And you might have family, friends, God, work, whatever it is. You have to put one up above going out with your friends or watching that game or going to that, whatever it is, that your health should be a higher priority.
It should be the higher priority. And people don't.
They do not.
Make other people's priority. Moms do that a lot. I got to take care of the kids. I don't have time for this. You need to make time for that.
Yeah.
Incorporate your kids into that activity.
Yeah. That's actually one of the reasons we started letting little kids come in, and we bought these little guns so that they could play around or just hang out on the bench so mom can come get her workout in and not feel like she has to do one or the other.
Yeah. I love that. I love that about the gym. And I wish more places would do that too. Yeah. So that's great. So consistency.
Consistently.
And it's true. I will say the body, from studying the body, science, medicine, the body does like a routine, and it wants to know when it's going to wake up, when it's going to eat, when it's going to do these things. It's very boring. You might be, spontaneous, but the body doesn't. It wants to know when these things are going to happen because it doesn't have to figure out when it's going to happen again.
Yeah. I always, people will say that, and sometimes some of the younger people say that life sounds boring, and I'll say it may be a little boring and mundane, but the benefits are not boring. When you feel good, it's hard to describe to someone how you're going to feel good. Yeah. Telling someone you're going to lose 10 pounds or 2 dress sizes or you're going to look good in the mirror, that's great, but you're going to feel much better. It's all day long, every day you're going to feel
without
amazing.
A pill, without nothing that you're taking. It's just the physical movement itself. It's creating all of these physiological changes.
That feeling is not
That's
boring.
great to me.
Yeah.
So consistency, that routine is one of the things you find people to be successful.
Extremely. Routine is huge. Yeah.
What are some of the pitfalls that you see that people just drop the ball?
So one of the biggest things that I see, and this is probably more in the nutrition plan, is when people try and do it their own way. And they try and kind of hybrid your plan with their plan. Well, your plan got you here, so let's try my plan. And the people that buy in, at least give it 30 days, give it 60 days. But don't go, well, I'll do your workouts on Mondays, but then I'm going to do my, don't try and hybrid the plan. Just buy in. Give it a certain amount of time. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But you have to give it a shot. And the people that kind of go, well, I'll do your dinner, but I'm going to do my own breakfast. Or I'll do your workout on Mondays, but I'm going to do no, you have to just do one thing. Don't try and mix and match.
You know what I find even in my practice that you're talking about, I'm hearing you say, is that the real problem is that people are not coachable.
Yeah, that is very true.
They're not willing to take that advice. So what I have done in my practice, before I take in a client, I interview them and I ask them all these questions.
Yeah.
And then then I let them know that they're the ones in the driver's seat of their healthcare, and I'm just their GPS. So if they choose to not listen to the GPS of turn left at this light, that's on them.
Yeah.
But the plan is a plan and it works because I've seen it work.
Yeah.
So you know the plan and you know it works.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that, as professionals, we're willing to tweak the plan as we go. But we need to see a consistency of, let's do this for a month and then let's reassess what's working, what's not working. But people are not coachable. They want to do it their way.
They do.
And that's even biblical. Like when you look at scripture, God has given us the roadmap of life.
Yeah.
But we're all stubborn.
Yeah.
We're like, I want to do it my way. And then it's wrong and it's wrong again. And we keep doing this dance and it's always wrong until then we surrender to someone who knows more and says, I'm going to do it the way you do it. It's a humbling act. You don't know it all. And I don't know it all.
I don't either.
So when I
need a coach.
I need a coach. Yeah. So when you gave me nutritional guidance, I humbled my little butt and said, I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to do it that way.
Surrendering is a good word. I like
surrender.
That. You have to surrender to it. That's
and you
really
don't surrender to just anybody.
No.
If you feel like this is someone I can trust, he sounds knowledgeable, I'm going to follow his plan.
Yeah.
But if you're telling me eat tons of dairy and pork, I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think that's true. And I remember you saying that you kind of interview people, and probably a couple months ago, I had a lot of people start the nutrition plan and just kind of fall apart. And I was kind of like, what am I like? I want to save more people. What can I do? And so I stopped people. I have a little conversation before they opt in. And I say, this nutrition plan will work. I don't know to what degree, but it will work. But it depends on your ability to adopt it and to just do it. And like you said, to surrender to it. And so I say, I'm willing to do it, but wait until you're ready. If you're not ready, if you need to get through a graduation or this or that, or someone's bachelorette party, fine. Let's start it on whatever. But don't do this until you're ready. And you have to give it at least 30 days, if not 60 days, because the magic isn't immediate.
Set yourself up for success and not failure, especially if you know there's a certain event that you're going to want to eat that food.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And be consistent. Like, don't cheat. You're cheating yourself, not anyone else.
And one thing on the cheating thing, especially from a nutrition standpoint, you're going to cheat on your diet. I cheat on my diet all the time. The issue isn't, number one, don't beat yourself up. Number two, get back on the horse as quick as you can.
Yeah.
Don't let a bad breakfast turn into a bad day, turn into a bad weekend, turn into forget it. I'll do it later. Just go, okay, I ate that cookie, I had that brownie, whatever it is, I'm going to get back on the horse immediately. Immediately. Yeah.
And that's true with nutrition and fitness. People beat themselves up.
If you miss a workout, okay.
Yeah. And that's why when it comes to the nutrition part, I'll tell my clients, like, hey, it's okay as long as you're 90% at some point compliant with this. Like, because they'll say, am I going to do this for the rest of my life? And it's like daunting to them that they're never going to eat these things. I'm like, no, we're doing this strategically for this period of time to reduce all the symptoms, to reduce inflammation. But at some point, you're going to be able to have these foods in small amounts here and there.
Yeah, I'd say a version of that same thing. Let's get you down to where you want to be. Maintenance level is way more fun, but we got to get you down there.
You got to get you where you want to be first. And
then we'll cruise.
What are some tips that you would share with someone who is like not exercising at all, hasn't done it in years, maybe never has? Like that person that's difficult to work with. Like, where would you tell them, like, where to start?
I would say, number one, there's two components to it. So there's a nutrition component and there's the exercise component. And hopefully you can go to a place where they have both. Or maybe you can go to a place and you can find an online coach or whatever, and then find a gym. But number one, you have to find people that are willing to help you. There's a gigantic group of people that don't like to go to the gym, that don't like to exercise, that don't like to go to a big box gym where there's dudes in tank tops and girls in booty shorts. Like, there's a lot of people that don't like that. So that's not your only option. Right. You can go to a group fitness gym. You can go hiking. You can ride
walk
at
the park.
You can walk at the park. There's a gigantic, massive amount of activities that you can do. But I would try and find somebody that can help guide you. And in that vein, find somebody that you find an authority, like you trust them, but someone that you vibe with, because you're going to spend a lot of time with this person or around these people. So find something that you're comfortable with. Like, you might find a gym and everyone in there is super fit, but it's weird and you feel uncomfortable. Like, don't go there. Or you might go to a gym and you feel really comfortable, comfortable, but they're too soft and it's too fluffy and don't go there either. You have to find something that is going to push you, but you also feel comfortable with the people that are around you. You feel safe. So from an exercise standpoint, and then from a nutrition standpoint, you have to find your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to lose weight, get stronger, build muscle, whatever it is, whatever your goal is, why do you want to do it? And then you put a value against it. And then it's, do I want to go out and drink tonight? Or do I want this? Or do I want to go eat this brownie? Or do I want this? Once you know your why and you can solidify it and feel it, then you'll be able to balance that out against every other priority in your life. And you have to raise that up against your other priorities.
Yeah.
You have to find your why.
Find out the why, guys. I think that's important for anything, even starting
absolutely.
a business. What's your why?
Why do you want to do it?
Why do you want to do it?
Yeah. And if you know why, then at least you know what's driving it.
Yeah. And I think when people understand the health benefits of exercise, that changes the perspective a little bit. You know, I have patients that they were not exercising. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care if you start walking 5 minutes a day, every day though, same time.
Yeah.
And pick a time that you know you're going to be successful, that you're going to do it.
Yeah.
You're going to stick with it every time. So if it's 6:00 p.m., you're going to go walk 5 or 10 minutes. You're going to do that every day.
Yeah. It's
so pathetic, right? You can't walk 5 minutes.
I know.
What will happen is eventually they're like, I could do 15.
Yeah.
I could do 20.
Yeah.
And so, but I tell them, you know, start with 15 minutes walking a day, every day, even Sunday. And the next week, add another 5 minutes or 10 minutes, increase it to wherever you physically feel that you have pushed yourself to the limit. Before you know it, people are like, oh, I'm walking 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I started with 15, but it was like, I could do a little bit more.
Once you're warmed up, I feel like you will able to push yourself, but it's hard to push yourself when you haven't gotten going. What's that saying? The hardest move in the gym is walking through the front door.
Amen.
Like getting off the couch and going through the front door is the hardest part.
Sure
Once you're
is.
there, you'll get warmed up, the music will hit, you'll find a song you like, and you'll get in your groove and your blood will pump. And then you'll go, you know, I can go an extra 5 minutes, I can go an extra 10 minutes, but getting there is the hardest part.
It's always the hardest part. It takes the most energy getting there in anything.
Getting off the couch and walking.
Yeah, absolutely. I always tell my patients, like, you know, there's days I'll get dressed. This is how I go to work out, whether it's kickboxing, gym, or hiking. I get ready, and sometimes I'll sit in the parking lot of the gym, and I'm like, oh, I really don't want to do this. So then I know I have to get up right away. Don't sit there for too long. I got to get it in there. And once I start moving, by the end of the workout, I'm so glad I did it. You know,
you're always glad you did it. Some of those
I'm
are
always
best
glad I
workouts.
did it. Sometimes I'm driving to kickboxing. I'm like, man, I'm fine. I get there. I'm all relaxed now from the drive.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, I don't feel like doing it, but I still get myself to do it. So motivation. Huge.
Yeah.
But sometimes
you just got to push yourself.
You got to push yourself, because sometimes we don't have the motivation.
Oh, God.
So when you're not motivated, like, what pushes you?
Me personally?
Yeah.
So I had one of the best piece of advices I ever got in the fitness world was an old coach of mine. And he said, if you ever feel like you need a break, or you ever feel like you need to skip a workout, don't skip that workout, skip the next workout. Because it might not really be your body telling you overtraining is definitely a very real thing. You could push yourself too hard. You could push yourself to an injury. You might not be sleeping well or eating well. But the reason you want to skip this workout might be a little more vain, or it might be you're just lazy. So don't skip this one. Tell yourself, I'll skip the next one. I'll put myself through this one. I'll skip Tuesday or whatever the next one is. And then once you get warmed up, you'll be fine. And it'll probably be one of the best workouts you've had. And then the next day you'll say, I didn't need to skip. I'm fine. I don't need to skip your workout. Yeah. So don't skip this one, skip the next one. But mentally tell yourself, I'll skip the next one. So you kind of gave yourself a little bit of a relief.
Wow. Yeah. A lot of great conversation, a lot of great points we've had. Thank you for joining us. I hope that our audience took a lot of value from our conversation. Fitness, exercising does not have to be scary and daunting. Start somewhere. There's a lot of benefits. You know, we do not want to lose our muscle mass. We really want to preserve it. I like to do the segment of, you know, what's the good, the bad, and the ugly in healthcare. This particular episode, since we're talking about exercise, it's going to be that doctors do not encourage their patients to move their body, because chances are they're probably not doing it. And so get moving. I hope you guys took some great points from our conversations today. If there's any questions, anything that you were inspired by, share them in the comments. Share this video with someone that you think can really inspire them to get moving. And until next time, guys, we will be talking in our next episode. We're going to be talking about sleep and stress management, the last two pillars of health. Thank you for joining us today. And as always, stay blessed. Thank you for listening to Physician Heal Thyself, the podcast. If you like what you've heard, please like, share, and subscribe. Help this message reach more people who may need to hear it. Leave your comments. I want to know what you think. If you're interested in learning more about Raíces, visit our website at raicesndmedcenter.com. Until next time, be blessed.